The Australian Reptile Park is the only place in Australia that you can see hatchling Komodo dragons. The brand new exhibit is now open and our hatchling Komodo dragons are on display at the Australian Reptile Park. We're so excited for everyone to come and see them. Back in April, the Australian Reptile Park was the first zoo in Australia to hatch endangered Komodo dragons. Now that they're ready for visitors to see, we're checking in with them at Reptile HQ to show everyone how they've been doing. So 2 months old now, our juvenile Komodo dragons are progressing and developing really well. Even at this size, they've got all the intelligence, attitude and inquisitiveness of an adult dragon. Every time we're in this room, they're at their enclosure, they're wondering what's going on, looking out, and they do love coming out and crawling around on our arms, just like this one here. So an important part of keeping a track on these Komodo dragons is weighing them. And this one here was actually the first to hatch, and it was also the largest of the three, 116 grams when it hatched. So now we're going to get a bit of a update and see what he's up to now. 128. So it's quite a bit of a weight gain, but he's doing very well, and hopefully we'll continue to see that weight increasing. And by the time they're about a year old, we would expect them to weigh about 1 kilo. So still got quite a bit of growing to do over the next 10 months or so. Obviously an adult Komodo dragon has incredible teeth and a really severe bite. Now at this size, they of course still have lots of teeth and they would be quite sharp. However, a bite at this size really wouldn't be considered too much of a big deal, although they do still have tiny little venom glands in the lower jaw. These juvenile Komodo dragon are being kept really warm, and of course they're growing, so their metabolism is quite intense at the moment. We're feeding them every 2 to 3 days. We actually remove the dragons from their exhibit for feeding and place them into another enclosure. We do this because we want them separated from one another during feeding. If they go for the same food item, they could very easily injure each other. And also, we don't want them to have an association between the exhibit and feeding time. If we didn't remove them from the exhibit, it would likely start to cause a strong food response every time that door opens. That could become very dangerous for keepers once they're bigger. As you can see at this juvenile stage, the Komodo dragon are stunning. They're incredibly vibrant. They've got all this yellow and orange coloration, and they're covered in spots as well. But once they hit 4 or 5 years of age, that's when they'll start to lose a lot of their beautiful coloring. Our adult male Komodo dragon, Kraken, is still a beautiful lizard, but looking at him compared to these beautiful juveniles, the color difference is quite striking. You can now see our hatchling Komodo dragons in the Lost World of Reptiles exhibit at the Australian Reptile Park.